Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move to strike the last word.
The gentleman's recognized.
And I also want to express condolences to the Sensenbrenner family and the Barr family, the tragic losses that they've endured in the last 48 hours. It was powerful testimony that we received right in this well last week from Mr. Floyd and Mr. Underwood's sister. And we have continued to see in this country individual and institutional tragedies that must move us to act, otherwise they will persist. And we are not helpless. People in the streets, they feel helpless. They feel that they're not being listened to. But we're not helpless. We are elected to represent them and to bring the change that they are calling for. But I think it's important for us to kind of calibrate where all of us are at, because it sounds like my colleagues on the other side want to welcome and embrace and work with us on needed police reforms. Not to say that all cops are bad cops, but that we're seeing too many exceptions today. I say that as the son of a police chief, the brother to 2 police officers, and a former prosecutor myself. Things have to change. But no one's talking about, in this bill, defunding the police. We're talking about policing the police and fixing the police and reforming the police. But when I say we need to calibrate where we're all at, I've heard a lot of my colleagues on this side say Black Lives Matter. And I'll be honest that when that movement first emerged, I didn't necessarily understand what that meant. I heard people say all lives matter, and I thought, well, yeah, all lives matter, right? People would say, well, you have a white privilege, and I thought, well, I grew up living in 13 different houses, going to 11 different schools, first in my family to go to college, that there was no privilege there. And then it was explained to me by my African-American friends that even though you and so many others may have had hardships, your opportunity was not limited because of the color of your skin. That's what people say when they talk about a white privilege, which is real and should be acknowledged. The founder of Black Lives Matter, Alicia Garza, says, Black Lives Matter doesn't mean your life isn't important. It means that Black lives, which are seen as without value within white supremacy, are important to your liberation. Given the disproportionate impact state violence has on Black lives, we understand that when Black people in this country get free, the benefits will be wide-reaching and transformative for society as a whole. When we are able to end the hypercriminalization and sexualization of Black people and end the poverty, control, and surveillance of Black people, every single person in this world has a better shot at getting and staying free. When Black people get free, everybody gets free. Black lives matter, period. And so I would yield to any of my colleagues on the Republican side who can unequivocally say, as we calibrate where we are right now, that Black lives matter.
Thank the gentleman for yielding. Does the gentleman believe that all lives matter as well? I think Black lives matter. I think all lives matter.
Reclaiming my time. Can anyone on the Republican side say unequivocally Black lives matter?
Unequivocally, all lives matter. Why is that a problem to acknowledge?
Reclaiming my time. I think it's clear that my colleagues on the other side would like to put up a straw man to not have the uncomfortable conversation that we need to have about race. Typically in police shootings, most of the focus is on the conduct of the officer, and we never get to the harder part about the systemic issues we have in our country. Nobody is disputing that what the officer did here, Mr. Floyd, should be defended. So we have to have the harder conversation about systemic issues and policing. Instead, we get this straw man of, well, you're trying to defund the police. Nowhere in this legislation is anyone seeking to defund the police. So until you're willing to get rid of the straw man, get rid of the confusion, get rid of all of the different tactics you're using to avoid the hard conversation about race in America, we are not going to get where we need to be to have equality, not just in policing, but in
Will the
healthcare,
gentleman yield?
in jobs, in education.
Will the gentleman yield?
Black lives matter. I'm
I
sad
can say
to say no one on
unequivocally,
the other side
black
will
lives
say
do
it.
matter, unequivocally. Black lives do
And I'll
matter.
yield to Mr.
Every life is precious, God-given, and black lives matter, unequivocally. Every
Thank you, Mr.
life is
Tillman.
important.
Thank you. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I support the gentleman from North Dakota's amendment. It's a good amendment.
We will make America great again.